It is The Drive at 5. Aaron Jackson, Mark Paulette. Brought to you by Casella. Good pay, good people, good life. Find your place at powerofhardwork.com. And also by UMaine Athletics. It's time to pack the stands at Alphon Stadium and cheer on Maine football. You can get tickets at goblackbears.com/tickets. And, of course, we're brought to you by Heroes Sports Grill and Entertainment Center. Heroes, the official sports grill of The Drive and the place to be in downtown Bangor at heroesportsgrill.com. Of course, we were there Monday for the Ticket Awards, which you can now watch on our website. So go to 929theticket.com and you can check them out there if you'd like to see the full video. You could even watch it at like 2 times speed or do whatever you want with us at this point.
You can manipulate it however your heart desires.
Yeah. So it is the kind of the slow sports time of year. You know, things slow down.
We're left to the Red Sox.
Not a lot going on. The Red Sox stink. We know this. There's only so many hours in a day we can talk about Jaylen Brown and Stephen A. Smith and all the things. So, Mark, you went a little off the wall today with one of your drive polls.
I did indeed. I believe I got buried behind like a reel of some sort because I got all of like 5 or 6 votes out there. So if there are anybody that wants to call in and answer this out there, 992-9029. But just the idea of like what movie messed you up the most as a kid? Because there are a bunch of classic movies, right? I think Jaws is the typical answer, especially this time of the year. It's certainly my answer for the one that you watch it at the age of 8 and then you don't want to go back in the water for like 5 years because you never know what's lurking out there in the shadows.
Yeah.
We got a write-in for, I believe it's Labyrinth. We've got a couple of votes out there on the poll as well.
Interesting.
What would be your answer for the one that you really you shouldn't have seen it when you saw it?
So it's not Jaws for me, although I did see it really young, only because I still go in the ocean and I still swim regularly in the ocean. So obviously it didn't mess me up too bad.
I don't even think for me it's like sharks. It's just all the other creatures that could be lurking out there. You go in a lake, you know, you're limiting it to fish. Turtle.
For a while, when I saw Blair Witch Project for the first time, I don't remember when it came out. I do remember like being terrified to go into the woods by myself. Because for a while they marketed that as like that was a real movie. Like it was like real
like found
it
footage,
happened
right?
and it was found footage, and it turns out it was not. But as a kid, I don't remember exactly what year it came out, but as a kid I remember thinking like, holy crap. Like I'm in Boy Scouts, I go camping and things, and I'm never gonna go in the woods again. I got over it. But yeah, I guess that would probably be my answer.
Go ahead.
The only thing I'm really scared of is, frankly, spiders. And there's no spider
big
movie.
arachnophobia movies out there?
No, it didn't do it for me. It was just a personal experience as a kid that did it. But anyway.
Someone dialed right up once we opened up the phone lines. Who's this?
This is Tim.
Tim, what are you thinking? You got a movie that really messed you up as a kid?
The Exorcist.
The Exorcist. That was on the poll. That was getting votes too. Yep.
Yeah.
That is. Was it that one scene in particular where things start spewing and flying and
spinning?
Yep.
Yeah, the head spinning around was.
Little too much to take as a youngster.
Sure.
Yep. All right.
I was in 5th grade when I saw it, so yeah, way too young.
There we go. Probably, but you know, different time, different ratings. Thanks for the call.
Sir.
Anybody else wants to dial in? 992-9029. The movies that, I tried to search this earlier to see what the popular results out there were. I got a lot of Bambis and Old Yellers and just like movies that are probably dealing with heavier subjects than you expect them to going in.
So Blair Witch Project came out in 1999. So I would have been 13, 12, probably 12 when I saw it.
Prime spooking age.
Yeah, and so, okay. So I at first I was like, I feel kind of wimpy admitting this, but now looking back at it, I don't feel wimpy. I mean, I would have been in middle school. That's as you said.
Formative years.
Prime spooky age. Now, another movie that messed me up more along the track of what you were just saying, after our dog passed away a couple years ago, I made the mistake of not watching Marley and Me, which also hit me pretty hard.
That's a heavy one.
But the one with there's a race car. I think it's The Art of Racing in the Rain, and the guy's a race car driver, but he has a dog, and the story is told through the dog's eyes. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I had just lost my dog not that long previous. I was sitting at home alone, and I had read the book, and I was like, I should watch this movie. I bet it's really good, and it's got the guy from This Is Us in it. So I watched it, and I don't know. That might be the most I've ever cried.
Really?
Yeah. Like, the end of that movie hit me so freaking hard, And it was because of like life
Sure.
circumstances, but
That'd be another. If anyone out there is man enough to call in 99290 and admit to
Yeah.
what movie just makes you bawl, because me personally, like you know how weird my eyes are. I can't cry from emotion, but if I look at the sun wrong, then I'm crying for the next 12 minutes.
sure, yeah. But I don't think it's, how do I put this? It's no longer to me considered more manly if you don't cry. I almost feel like it's more manly if you are. Now,
If
not
you can
to say
admit to it, if you can admit to being in touch with your feelings,
yeah, like if you're going out there and like every day, like, oh, I didn't get a burger today, I'm gonna cry about that. Well, okay, but like if you're willing to be a man enough to show your feelings, I think honestly that's being more of a man. You're being true to yourself. You're not.
Oh, I believe that too. I just think
Yeah,
it's.
but
that's
I was home alone and I like texted my wife. And I was like, why would I ever have thought this was a good idea for me to do? Because I'm literally like wiping the tears from my face, whole box of tissues next to me because of this movie. I think Art of Racing in the Rain. So,
I just stay away from any movie or show that's going to get me feeling down.
yeah.
I don't need fiction to bring that to me. I got all the nonfiction in the
that's
world
plenty.
to get me feeling down. I want my entertainment to be uplifting, to bring
Yeah.
me happiness.
I do feel like animals, like specifically dogs, and I'm not going to say again, I am because it's an old movie. Dogs dying in movies, that hits me harder than anything else. Like I could watch a war movie with like hundreds of dudes dying and just be like, that was so cool.
I don't like animals
But
getting
boy,
got.
if that one dog in the film that I've seen for like 3 seconds is dead, I'm like, oh, like right in the gut.
Doesn't even like horses in old battle movies. It's like, why you gotta do that? I know it happened, but just show me the people getting their heads lopped off.
9929029 if you'd like to weigh in. But Blair Witch Project, that would be the one that messed me up a little bit as a kid. But I'm also I am obsessed with horror movies, and so I'm not someone
You're
that
a little desensitized to it.
Yeah, like it takes a lot for me to jump or be scared or anything like that. So yeah, that's like one of my favorite things to do.
You
is
ever
watch
seen
a good horror.
the horror movie Mama?
Yeah,
As
it's
the
good.
guy from Game of Thrones, Nikolai Walden, whatever it was. That was one of those where like me and my girlfriend at the time in high school went to see it up in Orono, and then you're driving back like through Stillwater Avenue, and it's just creepy afterwards, and there's no one on the road. So it's like the setting bakes in that feeling more than the movie actually does.
The Strangers, the first one, there's like 5 of them now, but the first one, phenomenal movie if you haven't had the chance to watch it. Very highly underrated. Would highly recommend if you like horror. If you don't like horror, stay away.
I'm not a big. It's not the jump scare that I mind. It's like the constant dread or what's coming next.
That one has a lot of that. There's another one on Netflix called Hush, very similar, and it's told from the perspective of a woman who's deaf, and so whenever you're seeing her on screen, you hear no sound.
I don't like that.
And
I need my senses.
Yeah, it's just masterfully done. Jaylen Brown could learn a thing or two. He's at the Cannes Film Festival. Like that's what he should be doing right now, is enjoying some movies, not talking, yapping.
Just disconnecting a little bit.
Right. Brought to you by Acadia Federal Credit Union. Their newest location is now open on Wilson Street in Brewer, serving Maine since 1963 with branches in Bangor, Brewer, and Aroostook County. Learn more at acadiafcu.org. So Jaws is it for you. That's the one that messed you up as a child.
As far as just like something that stuck with me.
Yeah.
Because again, I can probably count on one hand the amount of times I've swam in the ocean since watching Jaws.
Well, you've lived your fears, Mark. You've done it.
I have.
Some people don't do
stayed
it.
away
Like
from
they
it.
won't do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
going back in the... I mean, it's colder. There, who knows what kind of creatures all around you at all
I
times.
feel like jellyfish. Every time I've gone in the ocean lately, though, I always see jellyfish.
Now, that being said, I don't want to swim in deep water ocean, but I'm the same person that, like, show me one of those submersibles that implode at the depths. I'll go in it. I'll go down there and see the sights.
Did I ever tell you? So in St. Pete, in tangent time, just a little bit though, they have the St. Pete Pier and they have the beach right like near downtown. I've been there a dozen times at least, and I'm out in the water swimming. It's a hot day with my friend, and we're swimming around the very end of the pier, and then we go back in, and at the end of the pier, there's a restaurant sitting at the very end of it. So we get out of the water, we dry off, we go to the restaurant. We weren't in the restaurant 10 minutes looking out into the ocean before we're exactly where we were swimming probably 15 minutes prior, a fin.
Yeah, I've got no... Unless it's
giant-
unless it's a dolphin or a whale, I've got no interest in that.
It was a giant shark, and we had been swimming literally right where it was swimming. It was like eating like the dead skin that we had left behind or whatever.
I think it's knowing that if something happens in the water, you are so utterly helpless.
Yeah. But they're more scared of you than you are of them.
Oh, I know, but they're also more powerful than I am.
Facts. Brought to you by Next Home Experience. Next Home, the market leader. Get looped and get sold with Next Home Experience. I've heard you can punch him right in the nose. That's what you got to do.
Get them right on that nerve ending. You got to have good aim, though, because if you miss, then it has your entire arm up to the elbow in its mouth.
Yeah, whoops. That didn't go as planned. All right, our second drive poll, a sports-related drive poll, is up next. We also have some Sports Center, a weather forecast, Sox props, some Jaylen Brown trade scenarios, and much, much more coming up. Welcome back to The Drive, brought to you by Uno Pizzeria and Grill, where they have late-night deals every night in the bar or lounge, 9 p.m. to close, $6 apps, $5 cheeseburgers, $5 indie deep dish, cheese or pepperoni pizzas. That's at 725 Stillwater Avenue in Bangor.
You know what? To go with that read, I got to give Uno's a shout-out because we had a very nice meal there 2 nights ago. It was one of my best friend's birthdays. We went out there with a couple other couples, and smaller staff that night. There was only like 2 or 3 of them around. I didn't do it to put them on the spot to do it. I did it more to embarrass my friend whose birthday it was because he was turning 33. Probably an age you don't need to be sung to and have a dessert brought out to your table.
Facts.
But I asked, is that something you provide here at Uno's? To which they came through. I don't know if you can hear this because I'm playing a recording off my phone into my microphone.
That's great radio.
But this is what Uno's had for him. Just had to give Uno's a shout out for doing that.
Now, did they give him? Because did they still give out like there's like the cookie in the little?
No, he got like a full free like brownie dessert sundae or something.
Okay,
it was like $15 on the menu, and he got it comped for his birthday.
Yeah, that sounds nice. All right. So we joked earlier. Well, first, let's get to the drive pool, and then we joked earlier about who would replace Craig Breslow, and I have something funny to tell you here.
So that is what today's drive poll is. We are predicting Craig Breslow's future. You have 3 options. They right the ship enough so that Craig Breslow keeps his job. Only 15% are choosing that one. They play out the string as bad as they are now, finish 20 to 30 games under 500, and fire Breslow after the regular season. 45% choosing that one, or Breslow gets fired before the trade deadline. I think 40% are hopeful on that front.
Yeah. So, okay. Now, I joked earlier, like, who would replace Craig Breslow? And I said, what about Claude or ChatGPT? Like, maybe one of them can do it.
Did you ask them how they would handle the deadline?
I asked ChatGPT, I said, build me a trade for these 3 Red Sox players. Consider which teams might have needs for them while making your choices. Also consider Red Sox trying to build for the future. Give me a valid trade for all 3 separately. Wilson Contreras, Sonny Gray, Aroldis Chapman.
What's he got for us?
It says, assuming Boston fully commits to selling at the deadline and prioritizes players who could help in 2027 to 29, these are 3 deals I think are both realistic and beneficial. They're widely expected to listen on these 3 veterans. The first one, Wilson Contreras to the Seattle Mariners.
All right, makes sense. They could use a bat in their lineup.
Boston receives Harry Ford, top 30 overall prospect. Now, one problem, he's in Washington.
Yeah, he's not. Here we go, chat.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Also
they love to show off how good they are at gathering information, but that information is not accurate.
Now, Harry Ford, if you had told me that and he was still on the Mariners, my interest would be piqued. But and he also Brandon Garcia, a left-handed pitcher, which I don't know anything about him. It says that Harry Ford could be the catcher of the future. Garcia adds another MLB-ready left-handed arm. That's the kind of package I'd target for a player with multiple years of control.
They don't need lefties.
For the Mariners. Also, the Mariners have Josh Naylor at first. So, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, but I mean, Contreras is a DH. He can...
Yeah.
Naylor can... Can he move around? He's nimble on the base pads.
He's pretty big, though.
He is, yeah.
So, all right, while you're looking up...
Well, here's your other issue with ChatGPT. Brandon Garcia is on the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah. So that's not great. So they've already dealt both those guys. Harry Ford is with the Nationals, right? Like, I'm not crazy. I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Harry Ford is in the national system.
Yeah. All right, so that's strike 1, but we gave him 3 strikes. So, number 2, Sonny Gray goes to the Atlanta Braves. Boston receives Drake Baldwin.
Well, I almost said something I can't say on air. That was my initial reaction to that trade.
And Hurston Waldrip, whoever that is.
If you can turn Sonny Gray into Drake Baldwin, you will get me to swear on air instantaneously.
Yeah. Atlanta is built to win now and has consistently sought dependable playoff starters. Gray has reportedly indicated he'd consider a move to a contender while holding trade protection. Boston gets a young catcher with everyday upside and a high upside power arm who could become a mid-rotation starter or dominant reliever. It would be a strong return for the 36-year-old.
Drake Baldwin, if you're unaware, is a catcher who last year's rookie hit .274 with 19 home runs and 80 RBI in 124 games. This year, he's got 14 homers and 39 RBI, slumping at the moment, but was hitting over 300 earlier this year.
Now, they do have Sean Murphy.
You're still not getting anything like that.
No, and the last one is the worst one, so we'll call that strike 2 because that's just not realistic. Aroldis Chapman goes to the Philadelphia Phillies. Boston receives Mick Abel. Now, Mick Abel is a pitcher for the Minnesota Twins who just had arm surgery and I think is out for the rest of the year.
Is he the guy who at one point was a very highly touted prospect in Philadelphia but just never put it together there?
I just know that he came up through Minnesota's system this year and had been pitching okay in fits and starts, but is injured, and I believe he's out for a while.
Yeah, this guy was, I believe, a number 1 overall pick, or very, very highly touted, 15th overall selection of the Phillies in 2020, and then just kind of toiled away in the minors. But, as you mentioned, is now on the Minnesota Twins, where he was traded on July 30th of last year as part of the Johan Duran trade. So ChatGPT, you definitely can't be the Red Sox GM because you don't know what you're talking about, and you gave us 3 trades with false information. Just rifle throughout all of it.
Okay, so I said you're doing it wrong. Those players aren't even on the teams that you mentioned, and it said, you're right, I appreciate the correction. I mixed up organizations because I was relying on stale information instead of checking the 2026 landscape. For example, Harry Ford is with the Washington Nationals now. So I need to base the trades on the 2026 rosters and farm systems, current playoff race, and every team's needs. So that's so it recognizes that it made some issues.
It seems to be as unaware as Craig Breslow is currently, saying that this team is 1 run away from getting back in it.
So I don't know why it struggled so bad, but here we go. So it still has us sending the Wilson Contreras to the Seattle Mariners. But for Brandon Garcia,
who again is on Arizona,
Michael Arroyo, an infielder, don't know who he is, and Blas Castellano.
Well, let's see what organization Michael Arroyo is a part of.
Yeah. And while you're doing that, it still thinks that Boston can get Drake Baldwin for Sonny Gray.
He's an Ecuadorian soccer player. No, he's actually a Mariners minor leaguer.
Okay. But Drake Baldwin, J.R. Ritchie for Sonny Gray, it still thinks that one can work.
Nope.
And then Aroldis Chapman still to the Phillies for Jean Cabrera and Nikao Puka Grego.
I don't trust any of it. These people might not even be baseball players based on what ChatGPT knows.
I'm going to click on this one to find out because it sounds like he's thinking of Puka Nakua.
That would be a stretch.
He is a New Zealand-born professional baseball infielder in the Philadelphia Phillies organization, a left-handed hitter, right-handed thrower. He's ground attention as one of their top international infield prospects.
Here's what we've done in this segment. I think we have highlighted that Mark Bertrand was questioning Craig Breslow's alleged intelligence in the soundbite we heard coming in because he's a Yale grad. Oh, good. Marcelo Myers going to the IO with a forearm issue. There was actually a report I was reading from Sean McAdam earlier today that Red Sox teammates, didn't name anyone, of course, but Red Sox teammates are questioning Marcelo Myers' toughness and ability to play through like the most minor ailments that pop up during the baseball season.
There you go.
And that he tends to withdraw from both the media and his teammates when he's slumping. And this is Sean McAdam, friend of the show, putting it out there.
We've kind of seen that in every step of the minors where he's constantly injured.
Yeah, well, here is the latest one, so I don't know who the heck's playing shortstop now. It's Monasterio. Yeah, it's his job because
IKF is out,
IKF is injured. Story's injured. Make this...
Who's going to play second?
Make this... What's his name? Romero down in Portland? Just bring him straight up.
You thinking of Franklin Arias?
Franklin Arias, not Mikey Romero. That was a name of yesteryear, but Franklin Arias has taken over that spot.
I mean, they might have to. I don't know. He was a rock star when I was there earlier this year, but I don't know how he's hitting now, but... You might have to, but then you're probably risking his development. But who do they have?
You don't want that happening at the major league level with this team.
I wonder what they're going to do at second base tonight. Assuming they put Monasterio at shortstop, like are they going to put what's
Connor
his face,
Wong?
Siegler, or would
No,
they go?
I mean, Siegler's still there, so he can play both positions.
Connor Wong, like could Connor Wong conceive it? Because he actually has been hitting the baseball again. Like he's one of the few guys hitting probably better than people expected.
I did see earlier in the week that Romy Gonzalez might make his season debut this weekend, so that would be the answer at second base at that point.
He's on a rehab stint right now. Okay. All right.
Again, why are we questioning this much about the Boston Red Sox
and who
when they are 14 or 13?
Yeah.
Where are they?
13.
13. All right, they improved upon it last night.
Yeah.
33 and 46. That doesn't deserve this much questioning.
Well, it was the drive poll, although it wasn't quite the drive poll. But needless to say, AI is not going to be running the Boston Red Sox right now.
If there are any kids out there listening, let this be an example. Don't let AI do your homework.
Yeah. So, speaking of trades, Jaylen Brown, will he be traded? Could he be traded? What would that look like without Giannis Antetokounmpo in the mix?
But we have used our big brains for these ones.
Yes. So we will do that next, along with a sports center and a weather forecast here on The Drive. That is true, it would appear, although he is at a film festival internationally, so he's busy. He's busy yapping at Stephen A. Smith, but I think Brad Stevens might be busy trying to deal him. And the question is for who? Because it's not Giannis, the big one that they thought they were going to get, perhaps.
It's not going to be for a player better than Jaylen Brown at this
Doesn't
point.
seem like it. No. So the question becomes, what can you get in exchange for Jaylen Brown that makes your team better, perhaps? Maybe lengthens out the rotation, maybe gets you some draft capital, and gives you some upside, right? Because I'm guessing that Brad Stevens now finally fully believes, like, we've gotten the best out of Jaylen Brown that we can possibly get. Like, we saw this past season what he's capable of. That is the best Jaylen Brown can be.
Yeah.
Very, 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 very good. Top 20 NBA player, no doubt about it. But he doesn't necessarily fit what this roster needs to be in the next couple of years. And so what can you deal him for? There's been tons of rumors out there. The Timberwolves were tops on the list, but then they made a deal.
That's not happening now.
They got rid of Julius Randle, and then they got rid of Naz Reid, so that's not happening.
Did you hear? And according to reports out of that situation, Minnesota preferred LaMelo Ball over Jaylen Brown. Now, part of that might be just cost, like both financially and the assets that you have to part with in order to get him in. You still get a guy that's a 20-point per game, 7 assists per game scorer to go next to Ant Edwards, and it probably costs you less than it did to get Jaylen Brown to town. Did you hear the development today with Detroit that they could look at a Jalen Duren sign and trade for Jaylen Brown?
Yeah, it's intriguing, but
I want a lot more.
Yeah, I feel like if it's just him, I understand you're saving some money and you can lock him up long term, but
I also don't want their draft picks. I don't want their capital because they're on the come up.
Right, and Jaylen Brown makes them better. So to me, no. The one that gets me the most excited, I think, is the Rockets.
Really?
Yeah, I think, and I'm going to butcher his name, Alperen Şengün.
But you're trying to get both him and Amen Thompson?
Ideally, but I think you can get him and another smaller piece and maybe a draft pick. And I think Şengün is the most all-star caliber player of the ones that I have seen listed to this point.
See, the team I look at that is intriguing me the most, it's in the Eastern Conference, so that part does hurt. But the Charlotte Hornets, who have kind of been on the perimeter of this discussion, they've thought to be intrigued, but maybe not really getting into it yet.
So they could flip Naz Reid? Is that what you're thinking?
No, not Naz Reid, but Brandon Miller. Maybe you can start a package around him, a 6'8", basically Jaylen Brown light. He's already a 20-point per game scorer in the NBA. Not as physical nearly as Jaylen Brown, but a good defender. He's got the length on the wing. And they've got a couple of bigs, especially now after getting Naz Reid. Diabate is still part of their projected starting lineup. I mean, he would be the intrigue for me. Kalkbrenner is 7'1". He's a little stiffer. 4 or 5 year college guy, I believe, out of Creighton. But like, if you could get Brandon Miller plus someone in the 6'10" realm. Yeah. I don't know if Diabate is there if he's like 6'9", but he plays bigger. Yeah. He would be the first guy that I look at. But if you could get Brandon Miller plus a big, I think that's about as well as you could do. Unless you, like, New Orleans is terrible. They're not going anywhere. So if you could somehow get Trey Murphy III and say DeJounte Murray, who really hasn't played in 2 years because of injury, but is still hanging out on that roster.
And there's a lot of talk that if you were to deal with them, they'd also put Derek Queen in there, big.
Sure. If it's even Murphy and Queen, that might be the best option. Murphy, Queen, and a future one.
Yeah.
Like, that's a pretty good starting point to deal with trying to rebuild it around Jason Tatum, because Murphy is the immediate one-for-one replacement for Jaylen Brown. He's not as good as him, but he plays the same position and can put up comparable production. And you get Derek Queen out of it, which is a big key that they're missing currently.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because I'm wondering, like, we've talked a lot about the talent and the makeup of the roster, and Jaylen Brown's his attitude lately and how it has been negative and those types of things. Part of me wonders if finances are playing a bigger role in this than maybe we're willing to admit, and that maybe they're not willing to give Jaylen Brown, who is eligible for a pretty big extension soon,
$70 million a year.
$70 million a year, and they would rather have a Trey Murphy at a discounter like the Şengün has 4 more years on his deal.
Oh, they absolutely would, because that is the model of the new CBA. That's how you have to build it in the NBA. Brad was asked, like, can you still make it work with 2 max guys? And he said, you can. We've been fortunate. You need to be like us, that both those guys need to be good. But I wonder, as they both move not closer to the stratosphere, they're in it now, 2 $300 million players.
Yeah.
When you're paying 2 max players that much of a percentage of the salary cap, can they be as similar as Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are together? Or because of the new constraints financially, do you need one $70 million guy on the wing and one either running the point or in the post to make it work?
I look at, and I know I've made this reference a lot, but I look at the Golden State Warriors and what they did, right? They have Klay Thompson and they have Steph Curry, prime of their careers. They win a title. They bring in Kevin Durant. They have Draymond Green as well. And they win another title because they built this super team. And they relied on the three-point shooting. They did all the things. And then as the league changed and as they aged, like, look at where they are now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they still have Steph Curry. They still have a fantastic player in him. They still have Draymond Green. But they've tried to reinvent themselves half a dozen times.
That's what Brad's trying to avoid, becoming the Warriors.
Yes, and every time it has pretty much failed to the point where they are now a play-in team in the playoffs at best. And that's like their ceiling, it feels like. So, yeah, I think Brad Stevens is trying to avoid that. He's trying to avoid the salary arbitrage of having 2 massive contracts for guys that are, and they're still in their prime, but they are aging, and you would be signing them essentially the rest of their careers at this point and not having anything around them.
And as we saw this year with that roster working that way, with those 2 guys leading the charge and you having to strip it down a little bit, when you run into the playoffs against an experienced coach, Nick Nurse saw that situation and said, You know what? Jason and Jaylen can get theirs. Let's just take away everyone else. Joel Embiid, you go and crash the glass because there's no one down there to stop you.
Yep.
Like, it was a flawed roster.
And they don't have, the problem is there's no flexibility if they continue to employ both of those guys. Like, they have so little flexibility to build up the rest of their roster. Peyton Pritchard's going to be a free agent soon. He's sure as heck not going to sign for 3 years and $30 million. Sam Hauser probably would get more from somebody. Like, there's a bunch of guys that are going to have to go away because you can't, either you sign them to way more than you can afford, and you can't then bring anyone from outside the team into your roster.
Yeah.
So I get it from a financial perspective. I almost wonder if that's the biggest factor here for them. And we're not talking about that as much.
We also don't know how Bill Chisholm wants to spend his money. Is he okay with doing it that same way?
Yeah, so that's why Şengün makes the most sense to me, I think, because he's got 4 more years on a really cheap deal where you can build around he and Tatum and actually add some other free agent pieces to make it work. And then you get something else to go along with it. Now, obviously, as you said, you'd love to have one of their big names, but I think you can get a minor piece as well and still be pretty okay with that, giving the savings and all those types of things that you make up for it. So, but we'll see. We're brought to you by Casella, good pay, good people, good life. Find your place at powerofhardwork.com. Also brought to you by Dairy Queen of Bangor, new DQ Breakfast Collection, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch Dipped Cone, the Fruity Pebbles Shake, or the Choco Frosted Donut Blizzard. That's delicious, I've been told by Marcus of the Morning Roast. Whether it's breakfast time or not, you'll enjoy these. 668 Broadway, Bangor. DQ, happy, tastes good. We'll take a break. Sox Props up next. It is time for Sox Props. Brought to you, as he said in the open there, by Caesars. Perusing things right now, and we hit a bit of a roadblock. One thing that we wanted to do, we're finding is not available to do, which is to bet on Paul Goldschmidt tonight, who just kills lefties.
Yes, he does.
And he's having a bit of a resurgence this year for the Yankees, playing every day because, of course, they need a first baseman. Ben Rice has been DHing and catching. And so they have not had a first baseman. Aaron Judge on the mend. And Goldschmidt has stepped up in a big way.
Apparently, Caesars, not a fan of Goldie.
Yeah, we wanted to do hits, runs, RBIs for him, and we can't. We can do 2+ hits, but I don't like that nearly as much.
Yeah, he's in the lineup. Why can't we do hits plus RBIs?
I don't know. You'd have to ask them.
Damn it, Caesars.
Yeah.
But thank you for sponsoring this segment.
So we could do Peyton Tolley, 6+ Ks. Will Warren, 5+ Ks.
I'd rather bet on the Tolley train than Will Warren.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Paul Goldschmidt runs 1+. We just can't do the combo for him.
Very strange.
We could also do total bases for Paul Goldschmidt over 1.5.
Now, do they treat that the same way as any other sports book where it's just a hit?
A batter is only credited for total bases if he hits a single, 1 base, double, 2 bases, triple.
I would do that one, though, over 1.5.
Walks do not count towards total bases.
I would do that. A couple of singles or a double.
Yeah, that's at -120. That sounds good to me.
Paul Goldschmidt over 1.5 TB.
Put it on the board. Yes. All right. My buzzer beater takes us to Canada, where not 1, but 2 bank robberies have happened over the past 4 days. Both of them successful. Mark, what did they use as the getaway vehicle in both instances?
Moose.
A scooter.
Really?
A scooter, and both of them were successful.
Like motorized?
Police are saying yes, it may or may not be related because they were 4 days and about 170 meters, however many, I don't know how far away that is, apart. But scooter.
The banks were only 170 meters apart?
That's what it says.
That's like
2 robberies took place 4 days and 170 meters apart. It's not clear if there's connected or there are 2 scooter riding bank robbers
at
large.
Less than 200 yards, isn't it? I mean, it's not that big a difference.
I have no idea.
That is not a wide swath of land. That's right next door.
Well, when you got a scooter, you can't go too far.
I don't really have a buzzer beater.
Okay.
Silence into the weekend.
I was say we can just sit in silence. Back at it Monday, the 2 of us back in these studios.
We'll be right back here with you.
Yep, that is a fact. No show next Friday. I can tell you that, right? That's correct, I think.
Yeah, because we get the 4th coming up next weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Long weekend coming our way.
Get your fireworks, everybody. Get them now. All right, we'll see you then. Red Sox Yankees coming up here momentarily on the ticket.
Game 2 of the sweep to get the season back on track, right, Craig?